Religion has been a part of Nigeria's political landscape since the country gained independence in 1960. The country is home to a diverse population with multiple religions, including Christianity and Islam, among others. The influence of religion on Nigerian politics cannot be overemphasized, as it plays a significant role in shaping political decisions and outcomes. However, the involvement of religion in politics in Nigeria has come with both positive and negative consequences. The 2023 election was an example of such, as religious leaders with large followers picked their tents for their preferred candidates, while members moved to support the choice of their spiritual leaders. Should this continue in the system? Can we actualize the better Nigeria we desire with this act? I'm joined by Prophet McDonald Aliyu to discuss this. This is Political Matters, and I'm Michael Adekunle. I'll be right back. All right, you're welcome back to Political Matters. Of course, I'm still here with a very, very great man of God here, talking about Prophet McDonald. Prophet McDonald has been to different parts of the world and is here with us in the studio to dissect politics and religion. You're welcome, sir.
You're welcome. Yeah, thank you.
All right, sir. Now, you are a man of God that is well exposed, and you've been to many nations, across the world, and you see the way, politics is being practiced in those, countries. Now, I would want you to compare it, with that of your country, Nigeria. You're a Nigerian, you're not an American. Even if you're, I believe you're an American citizen, right?
Yeah.
You're a citizen of America.
No, just a green card holder.
Okay, a green card holder, okay. All right. Politics in Nigeria is what we're talking about in the religious parts of politics. So, in 2023 election, the just concluded election, we had situations where diverse predictions were made by different ministers of God concerning the just concluded election. Some predicted Obi to be the winner of the 2023 poll. Some said Tinubu would be the winner, and some supported Atiku. All this from same God. The question is God an author of confusion? Does it really mean we can't have one God, speaking to different, prophets in one voice?
Well, we must also note, before you go ahead, that there is no sub-deity. There is no sub-God. There's only one God. And this one God is omniscient. He knows everything. He's not open to guesswork. God knows the end from the beginning. So he knows what will happen from the end to the beginning. So the issue is not God being maybe diverse. No, God is one. And information from the spiritual realm should also be just one. It should not be diverse information. It should just be one information. So but these problems have come from maybe the prophets, maybe speaking one from themselves, or two from intuition, or three, maybe clairvoyance, or four, we have a medium of the prophetic. So if it's the prophetic, it will be one, and it will be correct. So when it's not correct, like we saw in many of these occasions, is because many have spoken by themselves. Many of these prophets, they are first of all citizens of Nigeria. So they have their interests, they have their pursuits, they have their goals, they have their personal vision and ambition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how does one differentiate between intuition and God's voice? Now, when you look at it, some predicted Tinubu to be the winner of the poll, which eventually Tinubu emerged victorious in the last poll. Some said Atiku, some Peter Obi. Quite all right, Peter Obi's case is still in the court.
In court, yeah.
Now, how does one differentiate between intuition and God's voice?
Yeah, I think one of the reasons there is outcome. When you see the outcome, you will know whether you have heard from God or from yourself or from your circumstances. So if God is the one that has spoken, he will not deny himself. And he will not say what will not come to pass. One of the spiritual barometer for testing prophecy is that it comes to pass. It comes to pass. If it comes to pass, then the source is divine. So some people made this communication. I told you the reason is because they are, first of all, citizens of Nigeria. Okay. So they have their affiliation, they have their interest, they have the path they flow into. But the truth is this, some may not like this. Men of God are supposed to be multi-partisan, not focusing on just one party, because they have their members too belonging to different party. But one of the reasons why this last election was like this, because there was a religious card. So when that card comes into play, people forget whatever their training is, they forget whatever their feelings are, and they become so passionate about something. No, we can mistake passion for vision. We can mistake ambition for vision. We can mistake self for vision. So you can always mistake all these factors and feel maybe God is speaking and God is not speaking. It's the person speaking. So when something happens and the voice, the outcome is not what you saw, it might have been one, a lying spirit. A lying spirit. You know, there were a lot of incidents like this in the nation of Israel, where prophets gathered to give prophetic direction to power. And a lying spirit met from the presence of the Lord and misled one of them, and he said something, it didn't happen. But not that he is fake, not that he can't hear from God. God wants his ego down. He wants his ego down. And that happened. The other prophet gave a sound prophetic word. So many times when a prophecy is not positive to our own liking, we may feel it's fake. But the truth is that the ways of God and our ways are not the same. We have different ways. The ways of God and man. We say, my ways are not your ways. My thoughts are not your thoughts. For example, you say, oh, somebody is coming up to rule, and it's not as we feel like in our own barometer of a person's quality. But it will amaze you that many times God called Nebuchadnezzar my servant. That phrase would have been very misleading, but in spite of whatever we feel about him, he was an instrument in God's hand at that time. So God can choose his instruments devoid of our personal idiosyncrasy, devoid of our own feelings, devoid of our own conviction. He does what he wants to do. You're welcome.
Now, I think one of the major factors, or one of the things that prompted this chaos or confusion in the country was this Muslim ticket of a thing, adopted by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It was first initiated by the late Chief M.K. Abiola in 1993, and later adopted by Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, as a man of God, were you not bothered when that news broke that Tinubu picked a Muslim as his running mate?
Naturally, with the kind of tension we're already witnessing, one would tend to try to get this stopped. But if you look at it properly, you will now see that I have been in the North for many years. The way the Northerner, the Muslim Northerner in the North sees the Muslim Northerner in the Southwest is not the same. So they look at them differently. So if, because Tinubu was a Muslim, you have chosen a Christian from the North, he would have lost so greatly. So in election, it's not what is right or what should be done, it's what will make me win. Because election is just for winning. So if you don't win, you're gone. So some advice they may give you may look politically correct, but may not be able to get the goal done. So if he had made the mistake of choosing a Christian from the North, he would have even come third or fourth. Yeah, because the North have their stronghold as far as Nigeria is concerned. And people talk so much. Go and check the data of INEC. The North have the highest PVC in the whole country. The highest PVC. So you don't play games with that kind of a block. Because if they come against you for any reason, you've lost. No matter how good your intentions are, no matter how solid you are, it will not make sense.
Would you say Tinubu made a wise choice by picking a Muslim as his running mate?
Yes, in that circumstances.
As a clergyman?
Yeah, in that circumstances. I'm not talking about how we feel as being excluded as Christians. In that was the only choice that would have helped him.
That was the only choice.
That would have helped him. Except he just want to play to the gallery. Let me do what people will like. And he does that. He will lose, but people will still be praising him. But that is not political games. And another thing is this. You see, for Tinubu as a person, if you've studied him, you see that he is not a person who is a kind of, going to be very,
is it
biased
okay.
against Christians. He had done a lot of help, sponsoring pilgrimages, churches, even before he came to think of this presidential something. He's doing that as a person of his own. Though we have fear, people have fear that maybe the North will hijack the process. But I think it's more wiser than that. At the beginning, the Christians were afraid, but many times the fear was not sound in itself. People put this fear, they engineered the fear, they wore the fear a gap and talk about the nation being Islamized. But it's not according to facts on the ground. And one thing here, we believe, you see, we wanted the Christian candidate to win. But there are a lot of divine hands to power. It's beyond us. This power beyond thrones. Bible talks about even the rulers of darkness. It talks about a lot of powers behind thrones. So in the end, no matter, it's not about our votes. There are a lot of extra powers that determine who rule over nations.
Powers like?
Yeah, like the Bible talks about the decree of the watchers. When Nebuchadnezzar became very authoritarian, that even because God was using him, he became puffed up and felt nobody can touch him. And God is the line nobody can cross. If you want to cross his line, he brings you down. Yes, no matter he's using you want to cross his line, he brings you down. So it wasn't even God that brought him down. The watchers sat over there where they are. They decreed, let the heart of man be taken from him. Let animal's mind be given to him. And a whole world empire head became an animal, went into the bush for over 10 years. Until when he repented, then he said, God rule over the affairs of men. So the truth is, the fears are there. The fears are people put in those fears.
But were you at some point, bothered about the choice of Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Because some of your colleagues, I'm talking about in
the Christian faith,
in the Christian faith, stood against that move. Were you at some point bothered that this man came up with the initiative of a Muslim?
For me, I was not bothered because of spiritual insight. I felt God is up to something. That sometimes God will be up to something and we may not like the choice. We may not feel, there's what we call perfect will, permissive will, and the open will. Many times when we have a perfect will, we go for the permissive will. God himself doesn't like your permissive will, but he gives you the permission. You can take a decision. You can, on your own, say, this is what I want. But say, no, this is what I want you to do. You can leave the perfect and go to the permissive.
Is Tinubu God's choice for the nation?
Yeah, there have been a lot of,
I just want you to be sincere. I just wanted you to be plain. Before this, did you predict the winner of the 2023 poll? Did you predict?
Yeah, I predicted it in a very clear point in our prophecy. It's on our social media platform. I said on the 31st
of what?
Of December 2022. And I said there that I was troubled when many were saying, this is what, that the Lord have made a decision on Nigerian elections. And I went there, and I asked the Lord, I was also troubled. I asked the Lord, God, have you endorsed anyone? And he told me very clearly that he have left this election to the decree of the watchers. He left it to the decree of the watchers.
To the decree of the watchers?
Yes.
Way.
Yeah, decree.
Who are the watchers?
Decree of the watchers. These are, a deep biblical setup of rulers that have influences over affairs of nations. Daniel talked about it so much in his time. It's deep. They are the one who decided what happened to Nebuchadnezzar. you know, in the book of Daniel, chapter 12. So they decided, the watchers decreed. So sometimes a lot of factors happen. And before the election too, I was saying at the beginning, to look as if maybe some things will happen that will make the Christians happy, but later to be overturned. And I said in paragraph 4 of that prophecy that this result will not make the Christians happy, but that is the way it's going to be for now. So, and that's exactly what happened. So I don't like to be partisan, because I believe just being neutral, wait for God's will. It may not be our own will, we may not be happy about it, but He sees the end from the beginning.
Who are those? Who are the people? Who is that has come out of a marginalized zone of this nation, where it appears like people from that zone must not rule? Where others have come over and over and over again, ruled and misruled and destroyed the whole country. Who is that person? Very, very clear. Is it not clear?
Use this anger to vote. This anger to vote against this wickedness. Are you following what I'm saying? My wife, myself, my children, we are fully obedient.
The third one, his name is in the Bible.
Because the prophecies, you know, the predictions made by some of these, you know, pastors,
say that God had made a choice.
Could set a country
on fire.
ablaze. You know, I could remember Paul Eneche of Dunamis in Abuja, the one in is it Port Harcourt or Wari? What's his name?
Salvation Ministries.
No, not even Ibieme.
Okay.
Ibieme is the one at
Port Harcourt.
One in Port Harcourt. But I'm talking about Omega Fire Ministries. Pastor Suleiman, Johnson Suleiman. You know, he openly, you know, declared comments, support for Peter Obi, while Eneche, you know, of Dunamis also, you know, urged his member to vote in Peter Obi on the day of the election. You know, so looking at these men of God, you know, coming out to declare support for though when you look at it, it was politicized. Sure. I don't know if it was because of the Muslim ticket.
That played there. That's exactly what played.
That triggered it.
That triggered it.
Ever before now, NHA has been talking about the state of the nation, the sufferings and everything. Now, politicizing politics, you know, with religion in a democratic setting, as a man of God or as a clergyman, is it proper?
For a nature, you see, is very sound. At the beginning, he was so angry, but as at 3 weeks ago, he said, let the will of God be done. And I feel for a person who took that tough stand to now come and say, let God's will be done, I feel he should be applauded.
Because some of them are...
At the point, later, he came down. Some refused to come down from the high horse. But he came down and said, God, if this is your will, let it be done. I think he has moved based on his soundness, based on his spiritual access. He has moved. Just like Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, he said, let this cup pass away from me. Let it pass away from me. But when he saw a vision of Mount Olive, he changed the prayer to not my will, but your will be done.
Now, did you see did you watch the prophecy of Pastor Chris as well?
Yeah, he said somebody named Peter. Normally, you see, one problem we have here is this. You see, many of the people, the preachers, they hear from God, but they may not be operating in the prophetic realm. It's a different realm. Good pastors, good teachers of the word, but that realm that shows beyond the natural, they may not have per second access to that realm. And, you know, for him, he said it would be Peter, and clearly it was not so. And recently, later come and said...
Which means he goofed.
Totally. So, and, He later came and said, okay, what God want to do. So they are all changing. And that is not being, they don't stick to that thing. When the music change, the dance change. The dance change.
Should we call these people Confucianists or what?
I told you the problem there.
Yes.
They may not really mean to do what they have done. I said they are first of all citizens. So they have their personal alliances.
Because a few days to the election, Primate Ayodele of Inri Evangelical Ministry also came out and said Atiku will be the winner of that election. So I was like, Atiku winner? Despite the awareness, being created by the obedience, reduction, the bats and the batified and all those.
All those people, yeah.
Coming out to say Atiku would win, and at the end of the day,
some of these prophecies, just like those who do online poll. So in online poll, many times
are these people real men of God?
They are. That's
just be factual.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's be plain here.
That's what I'm saying. I say that there could also be possibility of what I call lying spirit.
Lying spirit.
Spirit may come in at some point. Maybe God wants to deflect
from the devil.
No, they say lying spirit from the presence of the Lord. That's another deep area.
Does God lie?
No, it's not the one lying. Those prophets that want to go and say something, and their ego was too much. He said lying spirit. They said something wrong, and when they did that, and it didn't come to pass, their ego went down. The one assigned for the job spoke, and those people they were really deflected. But do you
know that if the situation was not well managed,
it would have been a big problem. Yes, high fuel crisis. Normally, my own belief, like Pa Adeboye, his own stand have been very wonderful. He remained silent, and he said, "I have children, just myself to have the same view. I have members who are PDP, who are APC, who are Labour Party. So I can't, take a stand. They're all my children. They all have their affiliations. So we can only guide. And so whoever comes, we pray for them, we guide. But let God's will be done. But this is what God is showing me. Some may not like it. This is what God is showing me. But may the Lord help you as you go."
Now let's talk about Pastor Tunde Bakari.
Okay.
There is a man of God that has been there for some time.
Yeah, a long time. He contested too,
Apart from Chris Okotie too,
Yeah.
Of course, fresh Democratic Party.
Yeah, fresh.
Now, there is a man that came out and said publicly that he will be the 16th president of the country.
Yeah.
Where is Tunde Bakari today? Even at the primaries, Tunde Bakari
was nowhere. What I'm saying is this. I said at the beginning of this
isn't it a disgrace to the Christians?
It's not proper, but sometimes we mistake ambition for vision. I said that at the beginning. We mistake ambition for vision. Just like the Apostle Paul, when he said, "I wish all Israel be saved." You understand? We just take our ambition and put it as vision. So Bakari has been, for a very long time, over 30 years if I know, he has been having that ambition in this presidency. So whether God spoke to him or not is personal to him. But the result of all he was said did not show that really God spoke.
He said God told him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said, but from what if God told him? God is omniscience. God is all-knowing. He's also all-powerful. He's also all-powerful. So he would have made a way, and he will come on top. So sometimes people will speak when God has not spoken. And like I say, sometimes maybe they did not intend to mislead. Maybe what took over them was a lying spirit. A lying spirit. We have that in biblical case studies.
From the throne of God.
Yeah, it could come from anywhere. That's one strange thing about scriptures. So sometimes God wants to deflate your ego. He knows how to do it. And many of these people who made all this pronouncement now, they have really calmed down.
They're not saying anything again.
They're not saying anything again.
It's a shame.
They're quiet. It's a shame, really.
It's a shame to so
It's shameful, It's shameful.
No, I believe there are consequences ahead of this.
Surely.
If we don't avert
yes.
Now, what do you think could be done to avert such future occurrences?
I'm sure that some who are involved, they must have also learned their lessons. Some. Because like an angel later came and said, "Let God's will be done." It was not insisting that I would remove you from the throne. All those statements melted. and the whole thing now changed. So I believe God will take them through his dealings. And I'm sure it's a big lesson. It's a big lesson.
And as a man of God, what advice would you give to them before we go?
My advice is that they should get into their inner chambers, and get more access from the presence of the Lord. And allow, there are some information God will give to you. Okay. They are not meant for public consumption because there is the processing. So there are things you just keep to yourself. So they should make sure they hear before they speak. They should not run where God have not said they should run. That's my view. Okay. That's my view.
Is there anything you see ahead of Tinubu's inauguration?
From the signals I've been getting about inauguration, it's going to be real, and it's going to be a wonderful event, and the government is going to make giant strides. I have that feeling. They'll make giant strides.
What of Obi?
Obi, for me, is a candidate of the future. I see a lot of potential in him, a lot of charisma, and the kind of things he pulled were unexpected. So, but if he has good advisors, he will just go and rework his structure and plan for the future.
All right, thank you so much. We've been speaking with Prophet McDonald. Please note, we'll say goodbye to you on today's edition of Political Matters. Join us next time on the same platform. I remain Michael Adekunle. Bye for now.